the surface of the enormous lake. The drumming of horse hooves and clinking of steel drew closer, accompanied by whinnies, snorts, and the shouting of commands. "Aeson Veranda." King Arthur Brine slid from his horse before the animal had come to a full stop, his purple cloak flapping behind him. A number of his King's Guard spread out in a semicircle behind him, their burnished steel plate glistening in the morning sun. Two other riders dismounted and followed after Arthur as he approached Aeson and his sons, Barria Hor, Lord Captain of the Beldowaran King's Guard, and Lord Ivan Arnell. Arthur's 50th summer had come and gone, but he moved with the smooth gait of a far younger man. "Your Majesty, thank you for agreeing to meet me." Aeson dropped to one knee, his sons following suit. "Must we do this every time, Aeson?" Arthur reached down, wrapped his fingers around Aeson's forearm and pulled him to his feet. Arthur held Aeson's gaze for half a moment, then pulled him into a tight embrace. "It's been too long." "It's only been a year, Arthur." Aeson shook his head, but returned his friend's embrace. Arthur pulled away and clasped his hands on Aeson's shoulders, staring into his eyes with willful intensity. There had always been something about the way Arthur looked at people, something in the way he spoke and carried himself. He was a true leader like Elvira had been. "To you, a year may be short, old friend, but we are not all as well acquainted with time." Arthur flashed Aeson a weak smile. "Thank you for meeting by the lake. It's good for me to leave the city. It reminds me there's more to the world than Beldawar." "Of course." Aeson nodded. Arthur had seen more than 50 summers, but Aeson had witnessed over 400. If Aeson's life wasn't snuffed out by the edge of a blade, he would likely live to see many more kings take Arthur's place, a thought that saddened him. That same thought caused him to glance at Eric and Darlan. The ephemeral nature of life was something he tried not to dwell on, for it tended to lead him to dark places. "Now let me say hello to these sons of yours." The king moved past Aeson and greeted Eric and Darlan with the same warmth he had shown their father. "You're not dead yet, then, old man?" Ivan Arnell took Arthur's place before Aeson and pulled him into a bear hug, squeezing the air from his lungs. "Not yet," Aeson answered, pulling away. He cast his gaze over the man standing before him. Ivan Arnell was a gruff man. His head was hairless and polished like a stone, his nose was bent more ways than a crooked branch, and a dark beard covered the lower half of his face. Scars of battles long past decorated his skin, and a lump of twisted flesh marked where his left ear had been ripped off by a depth stalker. But beneath it all he had a good heart. A heart that had been blackened when his wife and son were torn from him. Aeson gestured towards a new scar that adorned Ivan's forehead, the skin raw and pink. "You look even more handsome than the last time I saw you." Ivan touched his finger to the scar, frowning. "Some Carathlin drones attacked a mining group. Dirty bastards. We got lucky." "You're both ugly as rats from where I'm standing," Barria Hor chimed in, a wry smile curling her lips. She grasped Aeson's forearm, nodding. "Veranda." Barria. The woman was a head taller than Aeson, with square shoulders and a grim expression. She'd been Lord Captain of Arthur's King's Guard for 5 years, and would likely serve the same position when Daemon eventually took the throne. "Where's Daemon?" Aeson asked, turning back to Arthur, who was chatting with Eric and Darlan. "He's with Tarman Horde, practicing weaponscraft." Arthur smiled, squeezing Eric's shoulder. "I'm hoping Tarman can temper some of my son's impetuosity. Now, old friend, tell me this plan of yours." Arthur, Ivan, and Barria listened as Aeson laid out his plan. None of them interrupted, but he could see the doubt in their expressions. "I knew you were a crazy bastard, Aeson, but this is suicide." Ivan folded his arms and looked down at the grass, shaking his head. He let out a long sigh. "You know better than any of us that no expedition has ever returned from Valacia. The Lorien Empire alone has sent over 100 ships across the Antigan Ocean." "We have no choice, Ivan." Aeson clenched his jaw and looked past Barria, his eyes fixing on the glittering waters of Haftsfjord. "We can't keep going on like this. Almost 400 years I've been fighting.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.